of the Mindshift webinar series. We had the first one last month, precisely on the 25th of May, 2025. And here we are today, to the glory of God. It is 22nd June 2025, and we are excited to be alive. We thank God for life. We thank God for everyone who's able to join us for the first edition and now the second edition. Please, it is important that I mention that we have started recording this session, so you can be rest assured that this session will be recorded, and then it will also be shared to us when the time is right. So thank you very much, everyone who has joined. Please, just to indicate your presence, you can just send a thumbs up. You can do a thumbs up. You can just do a hi. Just send an emoji, just to show that you are in-house. Yes, I see a lot of people dropping thumbs up. I see a lot of people, yes, indicating their presence. Thank you very much. Yes, Yola Solomon, Kuyenu Roots. Yes, I can see you. Yes, quite a lot of people are jumping in. Favor Joe Boy has just joined us. Welcome. Yes, so just indicate that you are here. Just drop a thumbs up, a clap, do an emoji. Express exactly how you're feeling right now. Right? Express how you're feeling, as you jump into the meeting. Yes, and I've just been told, I think I'm going to also have to recognize the presence of Efosa. Yes, she just joined us. Efosa just joined us. Thank you very much, Efosa. We are immensely happy and excited to have you in-house. Efosa, can you just say hello to the house?
Hello, everyone. Happy to be here.
Awesome. Thank you very much. We're happy to have you. Thank you for joining us. All right. So I'm just going to quickly jump into the agenda for today. So once again, welcome to the second edition of Mindshift, or do I say Mindshift Webinar Series 2.0. And my name is Oluwaseun Banja. By the grace of God, I'm the convener of this program, the Mindshift webinar series. As the name suggests, it is a webinar series that was put together to bring about a shift in people's thinking and orientation, to bring about a shift in people's perception. Because, of course, there is always a saying that as a man thinks, so he is. So it is your mental state that determines your physical state, right? So the state of your mind, the state of your emotion, the state of whatever it is that you're thinking goes a long way in shaping your life. So we think that people can actually aspire to better lives. This is not the best version of yourself. There's a better version of you. And of course, that means that there is a need for you to do what? To shift your thinking so that you can actually improve your mind. You can have a shift in your mind as a whole. So the first edition was, of course, leveraging on the power of the mind. And now today, we'll be having a wonderful session with Stella Oko. And the session is titled From Potential to Power, Showcasing Personal Power in Your CV. Right. So very quickly, if there's somebody that you think needs to be a part of this, you better ring them up. You better send them a message that the program has started and we are about to go in full force. Now, I want to start by saying this. If you're to pick your phone right now and Google why most qualified people fail to get their desired jobs, you can just experiment now. Pick your phone, ask Google or ask AI or whatever, why is it that most qualified people fail to get their desired job? It is most likely that of all answers that you're going to get, this particular answer is going to come up in practically all the websites, and that is poor CV. Poor CV. And of course, research has shown, survey has shown that most people, in spite of being qualified for jobs, fail to get their desired jobs because they have poor CVs. And so we feel that one of the ways we can enhance people's lives is by bringing today somebody to come and open our minds, shift our thinking in the area of CV writing. What and what do you need to put? How do you harness your power? How do you sell yourself, through your CV? How do you showcase what you have, right? A lot of times we say that Nigerian graduates are unemployable. But I think that it is not always the case that Nigerian graduates are unemployable. It is the case that some Nigerian graduates have what it takes to get the job, but they fail to put their best foot forward, and which is what? Their CV. Now, I'm just going to go to the next slide. Okay, so I'm going to quickly introduce to you our speaker for today, the person of Stella Oko. And Stella Oko is a learning and development, HR organization development consultant. She's the chief learning officer of Snow Hill Consulting. Now, this is just a brief about her. I mean, it's much more than this, but this is just a brief. Now, with nearly 2 decades of experience in human capital development, Stella Oko is a distinguished learning development professional whose expertise span strategic learning and organizational development and inclusive curriculum development. Formerly the learning and development manager at PricewaterhouseCoopers Nigeria, she led firm-wide onboarding initiatives, implemented training strategies, and developed innovative learning interventions. A 3-time master degree holder, currently pursuing a PhD, Stella holds an MSc in Human Resource and Organization Development from Sheffield Hallam University, an MBA from the University of the People, and a Masters of Industrial and Labor Relations from the University of Lagos. That is as rich as it comes. She is also a certified master trainer, a chartered HR professional, and an experienced mediator. Stella is passionate about leadership development, workplace diversity, and lifelong learning. She actively contributes to knowledge sharing through her blog, Organization Development on the Silver Screen, ODSS, and regularly collaborate with nationwide development initiatives such as Teach for Nigeria and Youth of Enterprise. Her excellence has been recognized with the PwC Values Champion Award and multiple Hallam Awards. She will be speaking on From Potential to Power, showcasing personal power in your CV, which is the first part of a 2-part series on transitioning from classroom to office. Ladies and gentlemen, if you are ready, I am ready. As I make welcome our facilitator for today, Stella Oko, as she will be enlightening us and shifting our mindsets on harnessing our personal power, showcasing your personal power in your CV. A round of applause wherever you are for Stella as she takes over right now. Stella, you're welcome. We're excited to have you.
I'm so happy to be here. Thank you so much, everyone. Can you hear me clearly?
Clearly, we can hear you.
Fantastic. Shehu, you and your site, thank you. Much appreciated. I'm really excited to be here. I'm very grateful to the conveners and the opportunity of this platform. Is providence, and is the work of God that has brought all of us together for this opportunity. So I believe we're all believers here. And, we have to give credit to where credit is due. Thank God Almighty that we're all here today. This is an opportunity for us to, learn from each other and, really raise our ability to excel, which is what God wants for us. So I am grateful to God, and I am grateful to the vessels that are present here today. So without, taking too much time, we have a lot to cover. So I'm just going to go straight and share my screen. So just let me know once you start seeing it clearly. Are we on?
Yes, yeah.
Fantastic. Okay, so what we are discussing today is a topic that is very, 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 very personal. It was a tough learning process for me. And when I finally was able to get to a place where I felt I had some control, some power over this matter of, crafting, designing your CV, I decided that the best way is to share that knowledge so that at least if others can benefit from my experience, I will consider that as lesson well learned, and to, share sort of the testimony of what God was able to, help me achieve through those bitter experiences. Now, we all know, just like Sean said, how important it is to have a very strong CV. CV is still, or a resume, like we're calling it in this training, is still one of the most important tools a professional, someone who is building their career, is one of the most important tools you can ever have. So unless you don't want to be a career person, a professional, then don't do CV. Then you don't need CV. But as long as we are in this career journey, then definitely we need a CV. So how can we optimize this powerful tool? That's going to be the crux of our discussion today. So come along with me, and feel free to ask questions, put your questions in the chat area. There will be opportunity for us to do some activities. So I would really appreciate your feedback during the course of the session. We will pause at intervals, read some of those comments, and try to give feedback. At the end of the session, there's time dedicated for question and answer. So please take note of your questions and be ready for that session as well. Then after everything, please provide your feedback about the value of this training to you. It will take you more than 5 minutes to do that. So that's the intro. So what we will be discussing elements of personal power and how those elements show up in your CV. And we'll have an opportunity to do some activities and come up with a game plan of how you can continue to optimize this power going forward. So what do we want to achieve at the end of this session? We want to see that at the end of this session that you appreciate better, because many of us, I am sure, already know how important your CV is. But perhaps you will see that it's worth the effort to get a really good CV. And then how do you do this? How do you achieve this? And going forward, how do you continue to build on those powers? So this is our sponsor. This is what we do. There's a link there. It will show up at the end of the session also, where you can join the WhatsApp group. There are more topics, questions, and conversations just going on about what is various opportunities out there for young professionals just building their careers. Okay, so we go into the crux of the matter. We are done with the housekeeping. Do we have any questions so far before we start? Okay, so I can't see the classroom. So if there's any question, Sean, please, I believe it will be in the comments, in the chat box. So
yes, none so far.
All right, great. So personal power. You know, like I said at the beginning, this is a very personal journey for me. You know, I wanted a CV. I'm in a new environment, and I wanted a CV that would work. And I did reach out to many people who have been here before me, and to try and understand, okay, what am I doing? I'm applying, I'm not getting a job. What's happening? I'm not even getting a call back. I'm not getting interviews. I reached out to my mentors. I reached out to even hired these CV builders. I'm sure we've encountered, and they have their benefits, they have their use, and it's a very, very useful service, especially if you are not familiar with that particular industry or that environment. But there's nobody that can, you know, tell your story for you. And that's what I have discovered with this experience. So how do we have control, have power over our own story, over our own narrative? And this is one of those key ways that we're going to discuss, which are the elements of personal power. Now we're going to discuss 6 different elements of personal power. We're going to talk about character. What makes up, when we say character, you know, it's one of those things that is relative, depending on where you are in the world. The way a British person or an American, and I mean the United States of America, not the whole continent of America, the way they view character is different from the way an African or even a Nigerian or even a Lagosian will view character. You know, there are so many shades and nuances to this thing. But we'll just discuss it in a general fashion, and then we'll talk about expressiveness. Why is expressiveness a source of power? And how do you show that you are powerful in that particular area? And then we'll talk about history. Yeah.
I don't know if you already changing your slide, but all we are seeing is still the cover slide. So I don't know if, oh, good. Now we can see. Thank you. All right.
Oh, okay. So this is going to be, I'm going to stop sharing because I'm going to share my entire screen. Okay, is it okay now?
Yes.
Is it moving?
It is. Yes, it is.
All right, I've gone through all this. Thanks for bringing that to my attention. I was just going on. Yes. All right, so I've gone through all this. We are here now. So these are the elements of personal power. We're talking about character, expressiveness, history, knowledge, attraction, and will. Now, these are just words on the screen, right? How are these power? So we're going to break down each one. What makes them sources of power? And then we're now going to, you know, see how we can build them into our CV. So the first one we're going to treat is character. So the Yorubas have an adage about good character, or whatever the way you behave in your house is the way you behave outside, you know, is what you do inside that, you take outside. So just imagine that analogy being the person you are inside is what you will show to the world. You can only be yourself in this world. And that's where character, what we're talking about when we say character. So we're talking about integrity. We're talking about things that are of value to you, things that you consider to be important in your life. So when we're saying character, how do people perceive you? Do they perceive you as a person that has integrity, as somebody that stands firmly on their principles, on their values? Now, one thing I need to mention at this point about personal power is until others are perceiving these things about you, they are not a source of power yet. So Stella might think to herself, oh, I'm a person of integrity. I have strong values because my parents brought me up well. Those kind of things. I'm hardworking. I'm this, I'm that. I have that self-awareness. I have that self-perception of what I am, of who I am. But until others start receiving that same information about me, it is not a source of power yet. So, in as much as we have these things about ourselves, we can describe ourselves this way. We need to be able to communicate that and let others receive that same value, that same perception of what we are, who we are, so that we can now start using it as a source of power. So it's very important for us to note that if it's just resting with us, if it's just us, that we have that perception. If others around us are not getting that same perception, we need to work on it and make sure that others perceive us for those good things, okay? Then we can start using it as power. I hope that came across clearly. So we're talking about character. So the things that make up character, we're describing being trustworthy, consistency, and ethical behavior. Now, I started this section talking about how different cultures, different societies, what makes up all these things that we're seeing on screen. Trustworthy. Okay, how do you show that you're trustworthy? If you are in Nigeria, is it the same as if you are in anywhere else outside Nigeria? So all these things, they mean different things in different contexts. But the message is clear. Can the people around you rely on you? Can they trust your behavior? That, oh, this person behaves this particular way. This person is this particular. Can they predict? Can they rely on your character, on your behavior, on you being a person of your word? Now, those things are very important because once you start, the people around you start perceiving that, then you have a reputation. And once you start building that reputation, then it becomes a power source. You can now rely on your character as a person that is perceived by people around you as a person of integrity and of high value. The next one is expressiveness. Now, when we're talking about expressiveness, we're talking about communication, we're talking about being clear. At this point, I like giving the example of after the World War, when Russia wanted to, change the direction of where their country was going. And, the leaders came up with a strategy. And the basis of that strategy, very simple, was that they will listen with care and they will speak with clarity. Can you imagine? A whole national strategy is all about communication. So they are coming into the Committee of Nations and they want to position themselves as superpowers. And what they were concerned about was being able to communicate effectively. So that tells us that being clear in our communication is really powerful tool, because I can bet you right now the whole world is listening closely to what Russia is saying or not saying. So it is a good strategy. It's a powerful source of personal power that we can take with us anywhere. It's not just restricted to our CV or whatever. Any activity that we are engaged in, whether in our professional or personal life, it is important to communicate and communicate clearly. So articulating your ideas, tailoring your message, all these activities is just for you to be clear and to show that you are present in that conversation, in that interaction. Okay, so we'll just give a quick introduction to these things and then we'll show how they fit into our CV. The next one is history. Now, this is what we are all very familiar with. Any CV, any resume that you come into contact with is just a long list of educational, professional achievements, and we think, oh, done, dusted. Yes, it's absolutely important and probably takes up 50% of our CV, but that's not what a resume is all about. And it's just not about listing your achievements and education and experience. It's about listing them in a powerful way, because it's important to prove, to show evidence so that people can relate, connect with the message that you are passing across. So it builds up credibility. So the next one is our skills and expertise. This is our knowledge. We've been in school for 14 years, 15 years, 16 years, learning. And now we have a particular set of skills that is just unique to us because of our experiences, our background. That combination has created a unique, and I'm emphasizing that word. If you don't take, in fact, if you take anything away from here, just note this, that yes, you might have gone to the same school, you have the same career with somebody else, but that person's view, that other person's interpretation is totally different from yours. Therefore, the way you will solve problems, approach issues, present yourself is totally unique to you. So this is about you. This knowledge is about you and how you are able to present that unique you to the world. Then we're talking about attraction, and here we're talking not just about arranging your CV in such a way that it looks beautiful on paper. If somebody opens your CV on the screen, it looks really well planned, well structured. You have spacing. It's very attractive. That is important. But what we are also talking about here in attraction is, portraying your personality, your charisma, your presence through the words and the use of language in your CV. So it's not just about beauty, It's not just about beauty, it's also about, being warm. There are certain words that you can use that will show that you're a warm person. You're not a robot, you're a real living human being, and you are here to, interact and connect with other living human beings. So your personality, magnetism, likability, your energy, your vibe. Can we see, is it, you are probably asking, is it possible to do all this on a CV or the resume that is just one page? Don't worry, we'll get to that point and we'll be able to show some examples. Okay, so now we've talked about 5 elements of personal power. We are now coming to the 6th, and this is probably the most important of them all, because we can have an excellent history of experience and achievements that we are able to communicate clearly and articulate convincingly. We might be people of great character, great knowledge, but if we don't have determination and courage, all these things alone on their own cannot really get us that far. So the power of will is the thing that drives, is the real engine that drives our actions and the way we go after opportunities. So are you someone that shows initiative? Do you stay the course? Do you persist in what you're doing in order to achieve set objectives? So it's absolutely crucial. So in summary of this personal power, I would like to say that the experts have assigned different weights to each one of these sources of power. Some of them are like character, expressiveness, knowledge. They are up there. They have mid-level points. And then for history and will, history and attraction, they are a bit lower. But for will is at the top. It has a very, very high score. So if you are a person of strong will, then you are definitely on the right track. Now we have shown you some of these power sources. Is not just telling you these are sources of power. It's also for you to do a quick self-check, reflection. Okay, I think my character is good. I'm okay there. I can say I'm high up there. My expressiveness, maybe I need to work on it a bit. Just do like a quick self-check. Where are you at with each one of these? And then if you have any questions, please put them in the chat area so that we can answer them. So I'm going to move on to the next slide. And here we're going to have a quick exercise. So rate your personal power level. For my explanation earlier, each one of these power sources have a different weight based on experts' results that they have assessed. So from their assessments, they have assessed that, okay, history is just 1 point, attraction, 1 point, knowledge, a bit higher, character higher than knowledge, expressiveness higher than knowledge, and will has a weight of 10 points. So the idea is if you rate your power level on a scale of 1 to 5, 1 being very cold, no, I don't, Stella, don't worry about this. I think I need to work on it. So I will rate myself 1. Or red hot, Stella, don't worry. I'm a very strong-willed person. My will is very high. So I'm going to rate myself a 5 in that. So for example, in my own case, I have, well, my history is very high, 3 masters and all that, evidence-based track record. So I'll probably say my history is red hot, 5 points. And then I multiply that by 1, I still get 5. So for history, I get 5 points. And then you run through all that from history to attraction, to knowledge, to character, to expressiveness, to will. Each rating between 1 and 5 that you give yourself, multiply by the weight, and then sum up. And that will give you an idea of where you are on each course and where you need to work on. This is a self-awareness. If you want to share, you can share your results. Just type it into the chat area. If you want to keep it to yourself, please feel free, but do the exercise and just do like a self-check to know where you are on each of these power sources. So obviously, the highest we can get from this is 5 multiplied by each weight and then a summation. Okay, so do we have any questions before we move on? Has anybody done their personal power level and wish to share?
Okay, we are yet to get any response so far. So of course, we encourage people to drop their responses in the chat box. So you can do that. Just drop your results if you'd like to share it in the chat box. Thank you.
Okay, so thank you, Sharon. I'll just give us a couple more minutes to sit with this rating and, try to come to terms with it, because I think maybe I'm moving too fast. You can let me know if I'm moving too fast.
No, you're good. You're fine.
All right. Thank you. So the highest you can get from here, I've just done my summation, is 100 points. So if you're at 100, you are red hot. You are super. You're golden. You're on the right track. Perfect. Just keep going then. But if you're lagging behind in any one of those power sources, the next session will show how to build, and we'll just also show how you can continue to showcase. But in this section, we're just going to focus on how you can showcase in your CV. And by the next, the follow-up session that we're having sometime next month, I believe, or when she will let us know, we'll focus more on how you can continue to build your personal power. So, right, we're moving on.
Okay, so we have somebody is 86.
Oh, very good.
Powerful.
Very good, very good. Where is your highest? Where is your highest score? So maybe it's Will, because Will has the highest weights there. So if you are strong-willed, then you will have really high scores. So well done to you. Continue to build your power. Okay, so this is another exercise, and this time around, please feel free to put your comments in the chat area. There is an assumption that we all know what a resume is, or a CV. So what is your definition of a CV or resume? I will just take a couple of comments in the chat area. Go on. Do we have any comments?
So we see how people dropping their scores.
Oh, their scores. Okay,
Yeah,
great.
so I think we've moved past that for now. We're looking at definition of a CV.
CV.
Yes.
Okay, we can just have one or two comments on this.
Or if you have anybody who wants to respond verbally, you could unmute your mic and respond. What do you understand by a CV? Somebody said a summary of your academic work and history.
Fantastic. Thank you. A summary.
Yes, let's have more comments. Yeah. That's Favor Joe Boy.
Thank you, Favor.
You can raise, okay. Daniel said resume is a document detailing your work, experience, skills, and achievements.
Nice. Very nice. Thank you.
Yes, if you want to respond verbally, you can raise your hand.
We'll just take one more so that we can manage time. We'll just take one more. But I'm loving these responses so far. Really great responses. Thank you.
Okay, so somebody said a resume, that is Kwayenu Roots. She said a resume is a document that contains your personal details, which is known as your bio, and the compilation of your qualifications from the smallest to your current status with your skill.
Fantastic.
Quite
that
a lot
so thorough.
to do one day.
Very thorough. Yeah, you see, the same item, three different people, three different approaches, three different descriptions.
Okay, so Stella, this is interesting. Somebody said the resume is a document with which you sell yourself.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Yeah, I'm sure this person is a marketing major or PR. No, don't mind me. I'm just assuming.
She's in PR.
She's in PR. Right. So you see, that's what I mean by you might go to the same school, do the same course, go through life with the similar experiences, but somehow we all have different interpretations of what we're going through. And that's always one of the things that make us unique. Thank you so much for your descriptions. They are all on point. They all describe key parts of what is a resume is supposed to do for you. But that last one saying is a marketing tool. And the sooner we start accepting the reality of a CV resume being a marketing tool, the quicker we can start optimizing this tool. So thank you very much for that description. And everything that you said is on point. It is a document. It presents a summary, because sometimes you can really tell long stories. No, nobody wants a long story. is a summary. And it's your professional journey and your education really that is presented. It's all about your profession, your career. So personal details like my favorite food, my favorite color, thank you. Opportunity will come during the interview. The idea of your resume is to sell yourself first and foremost, get into that organization, get your foot in, be invited for the next stage, and continue throughout. As you go through the process, the recruitment process, if your resume has done a very good job getting you in, you will have opportunity to showcase every aspect of your personality, and it's all part of marketing yourself. But we're focusing on the resume. It's a formal document. When we say formal, we don't want slang. We don't want colloquial speak. We don't want things that are not clear, that you will need AI to come and interpret. So, and please, let's not make it lengthy. It has to be short. The Americans believe strongly that your resume should not be more than 1 page. And for some of us who are just starting our careers, yes, we can fit everything into a page. I have a 1-page resume. Yeah, it's just the essentials. So it is possible. But as sometimes depending on the context and the kind of job that you're applying for, you might need to extend into 2 pages. 2 pages and that's all. It should never be more than 2 pages. Unless you are applying to be a professor and you need to show all your publications. All right? But there are several solutions to make sure that your CV does not exceed 2 pages at most. Several solutions. Okay, so let me not get into that because I can start talking about that the whole day. Why does it matter? Why is it important? Because just like who was that lady that told us that resume is a marketing tool? Just like she said, it is a marketing tool. And what's the essence of marketing? It's so that you will make a good first impression. Your CV is going to places where you might not have an opportunity to go to. Imagine a piece of document is going to represent you. It's your ambassador. And there is every possibility. You know how it is now. We're shooting our shot. So there is a possibility you might not get invited, but they have seen your CV. So it's important to make a good first impression. Control over your own narrative. I can't emphasize this enough. We use services to help us. It has to be tailored to you. When I'm doing sessions, I'm asking questions. And sometimes people downplay what they have done in their lives. Oh, I led the Boy Scouts in my primary school. I led the Boy Scout. I was the time prefect in my secondary school. And then we don't have an idea of that at all in your CV. Those are leadership roles. And we ignore them. We'll be like, no, who wants to hear that? Primary school. It shows potential. It's so powerful. And it's your story. It's your story. So why aren't you proud of it? What? Showcase it. Okay, moving on. It is a very, very strong and powerful tool, and it's your brand ambassador. And any opportunity, this life, hardly, if not for God, you know how tough it is. So any opportunity that comes our way, for us to showcase ourselves, for us to, be out there and show the world the things, the power, the potential, the talent that God has put in us, then we should optimize it. And CV is one of those. Right. I'm going to move on quickly so that we can manage time. So how do these power sources, how do they show up in our resume? So we go back to...
Okay, Stella, so we have just about 3 minutes to round off.
All right.
So that we can have a few minutes for question and answers. Thank you.
All right, thank you. So how do these power sources show up in our resume? So the first one is integrity. So we're talking about work ethics here. Things that can help you show you're a person of character is volunteer work, university society, things that you might consider to be extracurricular. And in addition to that, even your academic work itself, you can, speak about the care, the attention that you pay to your research. When you're doing your research, you make sure that you protect your survey participants' data and on and like that. There's a piece of research out there about what makes up work ethics. So we talk about integrity, reliability, dedication. You will see this slide. You can go, research further into it. Now, expressiveness is all about being concise and clear. So some people will say, don't use bullet points in your CV. Others will say, use bullet points. Whatever works for you, depending on what you're navigating. But bullet points, I have found, will help you stay concise and straight to the point so that you don't start telling stories. So I will advise use bullet points for impact. Now, your history, tell your story. It's your story. Focus on projects. You led this project, you initiated this idea, those kind of things. They will, and then use specific examples. Use specific examples. Oh, I did this and this was the result. For knowledge, just, make sure that when you are describing your knowledge, what you have, align it with the job description. So you are applying for a job. There's a JD there to let you know what the organization is expecting. So align your skills, your knowledge, the things that you are presenting, align them with the JD, with the job description. Now, for attraction, brand yourself. Is the use of language, is the use of words, how you distinguish yourself. And then also choose clean fonts, white space matters. Make sure there's white, don't clump everything together, give room. And of course, in your life, in whatever you're doing, be persistent, be driven, don't be passive, don't wait for things to happen. Drive things, make things happen, go out there, take opportunities when they present themselves, optimize them, and then record the things that you have done. Create things and then record those things in your CV. So action words, led, initiated, completed, things that show that you are willing to go, the extra mile to get certain things done and accomplish goals. So will is presented here as fire. Okay, so to round up, we'll give this brain teaser. So we have 2 CVs here belonging to Mr. David Oluwalowo, and he has presented something here. If you were to rate this CV using our power sources of history, attraction, knowledge, character, expressiveness, and will, using our rating scale of 1 to 5, The CV on the left, the CV on the right, which do you think achieves a powerful level under each of these categories? So this is an exercise for you to take away, and you can give your rating. If you're able to do that rating before we close out the session, you can just put your rating in the chat area, and then we can take it from there. So this brings us to the end of this session. And this is a quote by the 30th President of the United States, Calvin Coolidge, where he said, "Nothing in the world can take the place of persistence. Talent will not, because nothing is more common than unsuccessful people with talent. Genius will not. Unrewarded genius is almost a proverb. We hear a lot about it. And education will not. The world is full of educated derelicts. But persistence and determination, they are omnipotent. Omnipotent, not like they are God, but omnipotent in that no matter the situation you find yourself, if you are persistent and determined, you are able to overcome." So thank you. I will now head back to the class. Over to you, Shion.
Whoa, thank you, Stella. That was awesome, powerful, and I must say quite enlightening, even for me. I've been a professional for quite some time, but even for me, I've got a lot of things to learn today. So thank you very much, Stella, for that powerful presentation. And because we do not have much time anymore, we are going straight into the interactive session. So don't forget, this program is about interaction. We want you to express yourself. We want to hear from you. We want you to learn. We want you to speak directly to the experts. Right. So do we have anyone in the house who has either a question or a comment? There is something you want to clarify about CVs and how to showcase your power in your CV. Please, this is time to raise your hand and just indicate so that I can invite you to take the mic. So the floor is open now. The floor is open now. Please raise your hand if there's anyone who has, you have a question about this topic. It could also be something around, growing in your career, and this is just a perfect opportunity for you to ask those who know. Yes, I am aware that Ifosa is also co-hosting with us, so she will also be jumping in here when the need arises. Okay, so we'll be getting a lot of claps and accolades. Okay, so Ade, okay, did I get the name? Okay, so 2 people have raised their hands. Okay, so we have 2 people who have raised their hands. Yes, you can unmute yourself and okay, people are also dropping questions. So you can unmute yourself and ask a question. You can unmute yourself. Orange Springs Academy. I hope they are able to unmute themselves. Okay, all muted.
Hello, good evening.
Yes, please go ahead.
Hello, good evening, sir. Good evening, ma'am.
Yes, we can hear you. Good evening.
Okay, thank you so much, Sister Stella. And Mr. Sheon, I want to thank you for this session. I want to say it's very, very innovating, and it gives us a lot of teaching. My question is this: apart from the CVs for work, some people want to write CV. They come to me. They say they want to travel, and they ask them to write their CV. Probably they want to work as interns abroad, maybe research interns or teaching assistants. So Uh, Most schools like Canada and UK, they have a kind of CV that is highly expectant. If I say highly expectant, I want to believe that you can't understand what I mean. It's highly demanding. Highly demanding. They want to see a lot of roles that you have done, things that should I say rocket science. You have done this. You have done this. You have done this. Quite as Stella said that even if you have taken leadership roles in primary school, you should include that. So I want to ask. My question comes here that what happens if you probably understate or you overstate? How do you know where to curtail yourself? I hope I've not understated my performance here, and hope I've not overstated. I know you said it should not be more than two pages, 2 pages, but I still want to talk about the length when people are expecting so much of you, and then you are probably understating, or it seems as if you are even over talking. So when do we know how to be moderate in case I'm telling someone about it? So that's my question. Thank you so much.
Over talking. Thank you, Orange Springs Academy. That's a very, 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 very serious question. And I know it's a concern for many of us. Am I saying enough? Am I saying too much? Where's the balance, I have a couple of comments, but I would like Efosa to weigh in. Efosa.
Yes. Thank you. Can you hear me?
Absolutely, we can hear you, Efosa.
Yeah. Yeah. Thanks. Very good question there. I would say in your CV, for in this kind of scenario, your introduction or your personal statement is very, very important. I think it plays a major role in such a situation because that's the chance you have to, showcase your abilities and, your aim and, everything, what drives and motivates you. And then beyond this, your CV has got to be tailored to whatever your, research institution or, whatever kind of research you're applying for. And so in that case, you need to take the key highlights, what's that major. Yeah. Can you still hear me?
Yeah, go on. Yeah, show you are not muted.
Okay, so you need to take those key points. What's the of all of the experience that you've got, which one is the heaviest? That would align very well because it's not everything that you have as experience that is needed for that position that you're applying for. So of all the experience you have, which one is the heaviest that would really, really speak volumes to this position that I'm applying for, and pick those ones. You do not have to give a lot of details. You need to just put everything into one sentence. And if you do it this way, you would find that you can still put everything together in 2 pages. Yeah. Well, I'll just keep it at that for now. Stella.
Fantastic. Thank you very much. That was exactly, it's not just making sure that what you are sharing is relevant to what that institution is about. Is also making sure that what you are sharing, you can show that evidence in that. It's not something that you have to be going outside of that CV to go and show the evidence. So it's not all our experience, all the things that we've done that is relevant, just like Efosa has said, to what we are applying for at that particular time, number one. And it's not even all those relevant experience that we can show the evidence as we are writing those CV. So it's only those things. By the time you put those 2 tests to those experiences and accomplishments that we want to list, by the time you put them through those 2 tests, you will find that you will only tailor to match the exact thing, and then you are still within a balance, so to say. I hope that answers your question, Orange Spring.
If I could just add one more thing, I remembered now. Another thing is about the timing as well. How long ago have you had this experience? You want to look at the most recent ones and not putting something that has been dated way back over 10 years, 15 years ago, even though it's relevant as well. So focusing on the most recent experience as well matters.
Yeah, absolutely. I hope that answers your question, Orange Springs.
Okay.
You still have your hand up.
No, I think is anybody still having their hands up? No.
All right.
Okay, so I would just like to announce again, you can drop your comments, your questions in the chat box, and very quickly there is a form link. There is a link to a form that has been dropped in the chat box. Please take a look at it. It's a feedback form. I would like to get your feedbacks. So please click on that link and provide the necessary responses to the questions that are there. Would appreciate your feedback very greatly. I should also try to. Okay, so we have quite a few questions in the chat box. One, somebody is asking, Yola is asking, guarantors inclusion, is it mandatory to reflect in your CV? Guarantors inclusion. If you want to answer that.
Yeah, absolutely not. It used to be back in the day, but recently we don't put guarantors in our CVs anymore. It's not a relevant information that they require at that stage. If you are shortlisted and you pull through interview and it becomes necessary at that point, so you limit your information only to what is necessary at that stage. So the answer to that is no longer necessary.
Oh, great. And somebody is asking, how do you compose a resume with no work experience yet? In case of a fresh graduate, this is a common question for a lot of fresh graduates, and we have quite a number of them on this platform. So, what do you have to say to that?
So for fresh graduates, yes, your employer knows that you may not have work experience. Granted, some of you may have had maybe positions with the SUGs or some other, school associations. If you have that, it's fine to include, but your employer knows you don't have that yet. So what you should focus on are, your personal attributes. So what are your strengths? What are those things that make you stand out? What are the skills that you have? So you want to talk about your skills on your CV rather than talking about the roles, because you do not have roles yet, but then talk about the skills that you have, talk about your strengths as well. When Stella talked about, maybe not saying that you are a team player and things like that, but for a fresh graduate, you might need those ones because you do not have work experience just yet. So focus on those things. And then again, your professional profile, it's good for you to start thinking about the professional profile for yourself. What are those things that will drive you, that will motivate you to work together with people in a team? And you want to build that statement and include it in your CV as well.
Awesome. Bello Abiodun is here. Bello, please unmute yourself and ask a question. Bello Abiodun. Bello, your hand is raised. Can you hear me? Okay, Orange Spring, your hand is still raised. I want to believe that was the former raise of hand. Or do you have another question? So we have other questions in the chat box. One is asking, Favor is asking, how can someone create a CV? How can someone create a CV after switching careers? With no company experience, but only. Okay, switching careers. How do you do that? Creating a CV after switching a career. So with no company experience, but only personal or fictional brand projects. Fictional is interesting. So if you want to jump in on that.
Yeah, I would like to think the same thing, that the same strategy that works for a graduate, would work as well. Your CV has got, we always want to tailor or align our CV to whatever position that you are applying for. So if you have changed career and you're starting a new career, then your past experience doesn't count for the new CV. However, you might have some other things that are generic that will probably still be important in the new one that you're applying for. Maybe you want to put that, but then if it's, I would like to just think you want to classify, consider yourself as, treat yourself the same way a fresh graduate will, because you've got no experience in this part as well. Because like Stella says again, whatever you cannot defend, do not put it in your CV. At that point, because what you put in your CV attracts you for the interview, but then how do you answer those questions? Well, when you get to the interview stage, I think that's the most critical thing. So if your projects are fictional, you have the idea, you have the technicalities, even though you don't have real ones yet, then you probably would just use that to answer your questions. But you've got to be sure of what you're putting in your CV before you start putting in those information into your CV, even though they are fictional. It's about how can you defend that when you get to the interview stage. I think that's the critical bit of it.
Yeah, absolutely. You can't. That is a dangerous thing to do, to start creating fictional stories. It's better you face the things, the core things, like core values, like Fosa said, about your character, things that can translate, that can show who you are as an individual, your will, those kind of things. They sell anywhere, any organization, they value those things. So you might not have the technical know-how for that particular role. It doesn't mean that you should count yourself out. You should just focus on the things that any organization will value. And any organization will value a person of integrity, will value somebody who has a strong will, who is a go-getter. So don't count yourself out just because you don't have technical know-how in this new profession yet. Just make sure that you play up those other things that you have achieved based on your other power bases. I hope that helps you. Yeah.
Yes, absolutely. So I'm seeing quite a lot of chats here. So somebody said, pardon me, what are the 6 elements of personal power? So let me announce that we are going to drop a recording of this meeting on our Mindshift community. So there's a Mindshift community. There is a WhatsApp platform. We have quite a large number of people there. So we are going to drop this recording on that platform. So please do well to join us on that platform. There's also a form that is being shared on the chat, in the chat box. So please take a look at it. It's a feedback form. There's one from Stella. There's one from the admin of this group. It's a feedback form. Please do well to respond to those, to fill those forms so that we can get your feedback. We really appreciate your feedback. So the link to the WhatsApp group, the community, is already in the chat. So please, you can just click that link. It will take you to the Mindshift community, to take you there. So you can have access to materials, both from the last session and this current session. And you can also get first-hand information about upcoming sessions. And one thing I also like to announce is that I still see 1 or 2 hands up. One thing I also like to announce is the fact that I'm yet to consult her, but I know that she's always open for us. So by the grace of God, this session is not over. This is just the first of 2 sessions in this series. So from office, from classroom, transitioning from classroom to the office, it's a 2-series session. So this is the first of it. We are going to be having another one by the grace of God in the month of August. So Stella is hearing that here for the first time. So I hope we can fine-tune that area. So by the month of August, by the grace of God, this is June. Next month, we are going to be having a session on personal branding. And I'm sure this is something that everybody will be interested in jumping on. Personal branding, and we are bringing an expert in that field, how to brand yourself, how to sell yourself, how to win friends, like a book by Dale Carnegie said, how to influence people, how to showcase your soft skills, your soft power. So personal branding, we're going to be having that in the next session, which is in July, fourth Sunday in July. I know you're looking forward to that already. So please mark that date in your calendar. Ensure to have that saved in your reminders and everywhere. You cannot afford to miss it. So Stella will be coming back in August. All things being equal, she'll be back in August, where she's going to be taking the second part of this session from classroom to office. And so if you are somebody who is an undergraduate, who is a fresh graduate, who is an NYC member, who is young professional, who is self-employed, you have friends who would be interested in this, please ensure to bring them on board in August, fourth Sunday in August. But fourth Sunday in July, we'll be having a session on personal branding. Before I go, Stella, please, there is something I really need you to jump on when it comes to CV writing, and that is the use of ChatGPT in CVs. Because of the advent of AI now, it's very easy for people to just go on AI, tell them what you want, and then it produces a CV for you. And some people are so happy to just copy it verbatim and then send. How do you think this affects the opportunities of job seekers? I think it's very important for us to have this conversation.
We presented this training to a forum sometime last week, and this question came up, the issue of ChatGPT. And I can tell you that for almost 15 minutes, there was a passionate debate going on. And the conclusion that we all reached at the end of the day is, yes, ChatGPT has its use. When you don't have an idea of how to go about something, you can ask ChatGPT and use it as a framework, as a guideline, as something to, building, laying the foundation for you to start. You don't have an idea, now ChatGPT will give you an idea. And that's where it should end. ChatGPT should not be the one writing your narration, your life story. And that's what your CV is. It's your life story, not ChatGPT's life story. It's a very generic AI. It's not, look, I'm very, very, very passionate about this thing. It's so painful when you see people, we are in the office and somebody is saying, oh, this person used ChatGPT because of 1, 2, 3 things, and that they discounted the CV. That's it. That's the end. That person does not have a chance again. And it's so painful when you look at the CV, give it a second look, and you think, oh, this person might have been a good candidate. It's just the fact that they used AI and they didn't bother. It's very painful, So it's missed opportunities, you don't learn anything because we never get back to you. It's just a very, very painful thing. So please, 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 please use ChatGPT for what it is meant for, to generate an idea, to show some kind of framework or how you can go. But otherwise, it's your story. You can write the story. Before ChatGPT came, you were in existence. You were living your life. Don't let me get started. Don't let me come with a rule to come.
Yes, I can imagine how passionate you are about that. It is something that we get every day. People have become completely reliant on ChatGPT, and really, it does not help. So I think the lesson is taken. Yes, it's just generic. You can pick what you need to pick. From the whole idea of ChatGPT, but it is your CV, so you must work on it yourself. Before we go, Orange Springs Academy. I don't know who you are, but thank you. He said I joined with 7 of my students today. We are coming together next. So So
Yeah.
Stella, we are having quite a number of fans, right? I mean, so many people are so impressed with this first session, and I'm sure they're looking forward to the next one. And I should announce that we are going to be having an arrangement where Stella can have a personal interaction. We are going to fine-tune that with selected people. That is for those who are able. We said that if you're able to bring in 3 or more people, for this session, then you qualify for a personal session, session, a personal mentorship session with Stella. We are going to fine-tune that detail. We are going to come up with modalities, but Orange Springs, if we can really ascertain that you came with 7 of your students, of course there is a link there for you to provide feedback. Every one of them will be able to provide who brought them. So if they're able to mention you, I will confirm that yes, you brought 7 students, you already qualify. So we are going to arrange how you can have your question answered by Stella. And that goes for every other person. If you're able to bring 3 people or more, then you have a personal session with Stella. We are going to tell you, provide details for you when the time comes. So we want to say thank you, Stella. Some people raised their hand, but we're unable to take them because our time is fast spent. We are supposed to finish this by 7 o'clock, but I'm sure everybody really enjoyed it. Nobody, wants to go, but it's okay. Let's try and keep to what we've had so far. So this is 7:23. I just want to say thank you once again to our facilitator. You have been awesome. You've been awesome. We appreciate you. We thank you for your commitment to helping people grow and to develop. God bless you richly. And so to everyone who has joined us, thank you. Like I said, next month, we are going to be having a session on personal branding. We are going to bring in a PR expert to talk about personal branding, public relation, personal branding, self-carriage, and everything that you need to sell yourself, sell your business, package yourself, package your business, and whatever you are doing so that you can, sell better and move further in life. So that's what we are going to be having in July. Please ensure to mark the date on your calendar and invite somebody. Again, for that session, if you're able to bring in 3 or more people, we are going to tell you what the incentive is. I won't announce that now. So, but for Stella, in August, she'll be back. Every question you have on CV, please note them down. Transitioning from office, from school, from classroom to the office, every question you have in that area, how can I transition? How can I become can I go into the world of work? Please note down your questions. She will answer every one of them. Come August, God sparing our life. So once again, before I go, I'd like to invite my co-convener, Ebu, to say a few words to round off this session. Ebu, are you there? Ebu,
Yes,
yes, and he has made this program a huge success as it is today. Ebu, please come on.
All right, can you hear me? Please confirm.
Yes.
All right. Yes, thank you so much. It's a privilege to be part of this conversation today. And thanks to Stella. Yeah, we've been part of this journey.
Stella and the Fosa.
Yeah, yes, and the FOSA, yes, we've been part of the journey right from PwC, PricewaterhouseCoopers, and I'm so delighted that we are having this session today. And I look forward to subsequent sessions with you. Thank you so much. Thanks to Mr. Oluwaseun for the awesome moderation. Awesome. Thank you. You're mute.
You're muted.
Yes, so ladies and gentlemen, we see you again on the last Sunday, 4th Sunday in July. God bless you. Talk to somebody about this. Remember, it all starts from your mind. God bless you. Have a wonderful night ahead. Bye.